Hello? Yes? Okay, thank you very much. See you later. Goodbye.
So we are now on the way to meet Gary. Gary is a man who we met at the 1940s event in Lincoln, and he apparently lives his life, his entire life, as if he is still in the 1940s. So we are going to visit him now to try and figure out why. I think it will be a fun trip.
We're rolling. Alright, cool. So, first of all, we're here with Gary in this incredible home. Could you tell us how you came into this? What led you to live your life in this way?
I've always been fascinated by history. I've always been fascinated about the period of 1900 till 1940. And my mother would always say, oh, when we were children, we listened to the wireless, we had the oil lamp on, we had to clean the oil lamps, we had the Sunday best oil lamps, we had the everyday use oil lamps. I must have took it from here. I don't know, I really don't know, but all I can say is I'm beyond fascinated. Absolutely adore the period, and hence I live the way I do.
Wow! And so when did this kind of start? Was it a slow progression that throughout the years you built up more items? Or?
One of the first items I bought was a telephone that's in one of the bedrooms, and I remember seeing it. I think I want to buy that, so I bought that phone, and on that I started building and buying various other items. Sadly, I discovered reenactments very late on, about 20 years ago. And I remember vividly, it was a February, it was in Chesterfield. I went to this event and I walked in and I nearly cried. I certainly got goose pimples because it was beyond my home then. I saw other people dressed up and it was a sense of discovery. I'm home, this is where I belong.
And why do you only like dressing like that during your enactments? Why would you not dress like that more often?
I don't dress up if I go to town. That's my personal choice because a lot of people know me. I don't want them to know what I do. I can't answer why. I don't know why, but I don't.
Can I ask you a little bit about your family history?
Greek background, but I was born and bred in Liverpool, lived in Liverpool most of my life, and then they reached the retirement age where they said if we stay they're going to start university, colleges, and then we'll be here forever. So they decided to uplift us and we went back to Greece, and it was like chalk and cheese. The temperature, the way of life. It was a good life, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't England. And I just pined to come back.
Right.
So I did the national service. As soon as I came out, 48 hours, I was back in the UK.
Wow. Do you think part of why you live your life the way you do now could have come from the fact that you were pulled out of England at such a young age and always yearned to come back?
Possibly that was taken away, but I can still live in a modern England. It's still England.
But what you really, really like is that old England. What other things do you not understand about the modern day?
Well, politically correctness, it's just gone absolutely crazy, completely crazy. I'm not going to go into specifics,
sure.
But in today's day and age, it's very easy to offend people for the most ridiculous reasons. I think I told you on Saturday, it's a bit of a minefield. I feel petrified of how to approach and how to say what. One, I'm worried about upsetting somebody, and that's my ultimate goal. I do not want to upset anybody.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't want to get abused or told off like a small child because I said the wrong thing. So I try to avoid interacting too much.
Do you think we're losing that kind of human interaction?
We are. We've lost community. Back then, everybody knew the neighbours, and they also knew people from other neighbourhoods. There were smaller communities, so therefore they had a lot more community activities than we do today. The lockdown was as close as we got to actually living the life during the war. A lot of people came together, community came together again, and it was really nice to see that community come back. And the question we all had, why did we have to wait for a pandemic to get the community back? Why can't we do it every day like it was? I mean, I did give you the question on Saturday, and you still haven't answered. Would you travel, so I'll say it again, would you travel, if there was a way, back in time, you can pick any decade?
I wouldn't do it, and I'll tell you why. I wouldn't do it because, for me, I think we have progressed, at least in my mind, but obviously this is from somebody who was born into the modern world. I think we've progressed a lot since the time that we're speaking about. I think a lot of things have changed, at least for me, would be better. So for example, I have a Jewish heritage, and so if I was born...
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. If I was born into 1920s, 1930s, I would have big problems coming up my way.
Absolutely, I agree, and I see what you're coming from, and that was one of the negatives, which there is absolutely no excuse for it. Nobody should feel bad about their nationality, the way they look, the way they behave, or you are who you are. That is wrong, and that sadly did exist a lot in the past. That is one of the negatives, but the positives, I believe, outweigh the negatives. And if we want to get in reverse, there's so many negatives today that outweigh as well the benefits of today. I like the human touch. I like human interaction. I'm on my own, and I've met other people, and I've brought them back here, modern people, and they just couldn't apprehend, they couldn't cope. This is why'd you do this? Why would you live like this? It's because I like it. And I said, I'm not asking you to do it. And I said, well, I can't do it, and I don't want to do it, and no, I don't want to see you again.
Is that difficult for you then?
Very difficult, because there's a handful of people who are female and reenact. Out of that handful, most of them are married or got boyfriends and what have you, and the ones that are not attached, they're either not my type or I'm not their type. So it is difficult.
Does that ever make you want to give it up at all?
No way. No way. There isn't enough tea in China to make me give it up. I'd rather stay alone. I find this solace, peace, serenity, I don't know what, I'm not very good with words. I just find myself at peace.
That was incredible. Thank you so much, Gary.
You're welcome.